What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the economic calendar moving forward, what's going on with very important updates on the markets, what you should be watching for as we approach some key supports. But before I break the doubles information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, when it comes to the way the market is moving, SPY had this high right here at the all-time high. We came down, made a lower high, and as you guys can see, a downtrend was being established exactly as we predicted. So the question is, what's going to happen from here? I do anticipate a bit more downside, and I'm going to break down more details about this in just a few minutes. First, let's talk about some data. Today is Wednesday, May 29th, 2024. At 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 30 minutes after the market opens, we have the Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index coming out. And at 10:30 a.m., we have some more important data involving the Dallas Fed Services data. So for the first 30 minutes and 1 hour of market open, expect some volatility. And then at 11:30 a.m., we have a bunch of bill auctions coming out. Finally, the last thing that's worth noting would be the beige book that's coming out at 2 o'clock p.m. This is going to give us more insights on the economic report and the current state of the economy from the Fed. All right, but for now, we're just going to focus on the first 30 minutes to 1 hour until I give you guys another update. This is what we're going to be watching for to see how this causes the market to move. So I'll be watching for that. Now, something else that's worth noting is that a lot of these Fed speakers were making it very clear that the Fed is open to keeping rates higher for longer, and that as a result has led to the 10-year Treasury yield going up. So the yields are going up. We reached 4.5% on the 10-year. This is causing the market to actually lose money. Money is kind of like outflowing away from the markets more into yields. And then this is causing the stock market to dip a little bit. That's why the market's dipping the way it is. The 10-year is going up because of how the Fed was speaking over the last couple of days. For earnings, just to be very clear, we had like Chewy, Dick's Sporting Goods, and a few others. And then going into after the market closes, we have Salesforce. Tomorrow we have like Costco and a few others. For Chewy, they did relatively well. They announced a buyback. They had pretty good earnings overall, with net sales up about 3.1%. EPS was not bad whatsoever. So pretty good stuff from them, especially that buyback, and guidance was pretty good. That's why the share price is up. On top of all of this, there's been a lot of talk about American Airlines. It lowered its second quarter outlook, which is a little bit bearish for the share price. It expects the revenues to fall as much as 6% relative to a year ago, and they trimmed their EPS, which is showing more weakness relative to Delta. On top of this, with GameStop was getting a lot of attention yesterday, but it's actually falling still to this day. So not the best of news for it, and we'll see how this affects us moving forward. Anyways, let me just quickly talk about the charts before I conclude this video. SPY is looking bearish right now. It's continuing to fall. We're going to be looking at the support at 524.8. If we lose this, SPY is going down to fill the gap at 523. Okay, and if we lose that, 521 is our next target. We have resistance currently at, well, the most important resistance is 528. If we break that, then we could start pushing higher and get closer to about 529.5. That's where we have this gap to fill. So overall, we're looking more bearish. I do favor that this might dip down to fill not just the gap at 523, but also come down to this low at the very least. So I do anticipate more downside for the markets. We have a bearish looking trend so far, and SPY is looking weak in my personal opinion. With the yields going up, Nvidia is also kind of dipping a little bit. Now, Nvidia is in a very, very critical place. We're holding the support right here. If we hold, so we basically have support where our 20 EMA happens to be 1125. If we hold 1125, then Nvidia could shuffle between 1125 and 1140. If we lose 1125, we're going to be dipping all the way down to 1100. Okay, so that's the support to be watched for on Nvidia. It's very strong relative to the markets. It's still holding it very well. So either it shuffles between 1125 and 1140, or if we lose 1125, we're going to be dipping to 1100. It's got to be one of those two. For Tesla, we're dipping a little bit towards the 174 area. Tesla loves to get bought up between 173 to 172, so maybe it does dip a little bit, but watch and see if we get a bounce off 173, and then we just continue to trade sideways in this range. Tesla's down a bit because of this negative news. If we lose 172, then we turn more bearish, and we have a gap to fill all the way down here, close to this 168 area. So Tesla, in my opinion, does have some more downside potential. It could try to hit this support right here, so we'll have to see if this holds or not. If we lose it, then yes, we're going to be dipping down to fill our gap. Otherwise, it's just going to continue to just range trade. So I do see a test coming of this support. So we'll see how well Tesla holds. But every time it hits 173, it has bounced for the last couple of weeks. So we will see if that ends up being the case for Tesla or not. For a few more, we have the QQQ. looking a bit more bearish. Watch 455 as support. If we lose it, I think 453 is coming to fill this gap. If we bounce off this, watch 457 as resistance, and if that breaks, we have 459 to 460 as resistance. This trend is looking a bit more bearish, so it does favor a little bit more downside, so watch for that very carefully. And we also have Aapl forming a head and shoulders right here. We have left shoulder here, we have a head and right shoulder forming. This does look to me like it's going to dip to 189, the lower 189s. If we lose that, 188 is coming at our 200 EMA. We have resistance at 190.5 and also at 192. This chart does favor downside as a stronger possibility. That is it, at least for those main five. For Amzn, we have support currently at this 180 area. If we lose that, we're going to be looking for 178. If we bounce off this, we're going to be looking for about 181. But overall, I would say that Amazon's just kind of holding the support at 180, and we'll see if anything shifts or not. So as of right now, it's at support, and we'll see if there's any more of a shift. For Coinbase has kind of like a bearish structure right here. If we continue to fall, watch 235. If we hold 235, we could bounce. If we lose that, we're going to be dipping down to 232. It is looking to me like it might dip a little bit more, so just be careful. For Meta has the same thing going on. We're barely holding our 50 EMA around 474. If we lose this, we're going to be dipping all the way down to 472. If we bounce off this, watch 476 as resistance and also this gap. To me, it looks a little bit weaker. It does look like it might try to dip towards at least 474, and if not lower levels like 472 if we lose that. So that's what it looks like, at least for now. And then one last thing is going to be Bitcoin. I did kind of skip over that. Bitcoin's looking kind of weak right now. We're at support. Watch support currently at 67,500. Watch resistance at 68,123. We'll be watching to see which way we go. There is a risk of this kind of rejecting and dipping down to this imbalance and to get closer to the lower 67,000s. So we watch to see how this goes. With that being said, the VIX is actually showing some life right now, trying to push a little bit higher. This is what we kind of called out as a strong possibility. The 10-year is still kind of up right now, which is why the market's dipping. And then stocks like AMC and GameStop not looking the strongest. We could be testing our 200 EMA on AMC. It could be a dip to about 4.7, a little dip, but nothing too crazy. And also for GameStop, there is a risk of this dipping as well. If we lose 21.87, look for a bigger drop. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. We did pop and drop, but we didn't hold the support I basically called out yesterday to remain bullish. So GameStop is showing some weakness in my personal opinion. All right. That is it for your unbiased analysis. Know that the market is favoring bears for the time being. We'll be watching to see how well we end up holding up. So watch the 524s on SPY, see if we hold that or not. If not, 523 has a gap to fill, and then we have another support below that. With that being said, guys, sorry that this video is kind of late. I'm kind of in a rush right now. I had a little delay again, but it's okay. This video will be uploaded before the market opens. I just want to thank you all so much for listening. Have an absolutely incredible rest of the day, and I'll see you guys very soon. In about an hour to an hour and a half for the next update once we get the important data. All right, thank you and peace out.